And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You're joined with myself, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX, as well as Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill from the Pints of Polishing podcast and HyperClean Car Care Products, as well as Mr. Overall Awesomeness. So I was just seeing if you were paying attention. All right. So
I got persuaded by this Light Circus IPA.
Oh shit! Look at that.
Carbach Brewery. It's a Texas brewery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Now, on that note, do you find a difference in regions, north to south, for example, in like, because I know you've sampled a lot of different.
Well, it's more styles, right? Like
that's what I'm wondering about.
California West Coast style of an IPA. There's a New England IPA. So there's different styles. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The reason I'm curious here is because in Canada, most of us live near the border because it's just too fucking cold if you go further up, and so. For us, there's a huge East Coast, West Coast difference, as well as, Central as well. But then we also, because we don't really have much of a North-South divide. However, we're in what's considered like Southern Ontario. And so provincially, which is like our state, there's a huge divide between like Northern Ontario and Southern Ontario. But throughout the entire country, there's not a huge, it's not like in the US, like you guys have, there's a big divide between things where it's like north, south, east, west, different locales like that. So I was always curious if that translated into, product development and tastes and things like that as well. Taste for sure.
I mean, for us, yeah. And what makes us unique, which is fun, is, I'm in the Midwest, and then Nick, my partner's in Las Vegas. So we test things in different clients. So
oh shit, yeah. I didn't know he's in Vegas.
His is dry, lives in Vegas. And then we're very humid. So we get multiple ways of testing out stuff.
That's pretty dope though. Yeah, especially in your field, like in product development and testing, that helps a lot, because like I've heard it all from, a lot of our members that are in Florida, for example, the problems they're dealing with. Like I've had guys ask me before questions about tint and stuff like that. And I'm like, listen, man, like you don't want my advice because I'm sending cars outside in like, well, for us, like we use Celsius and I'm like, minus 30. And like you're sending people outside, like, I don't know what Fahrenheit, but like for us it'd be like, I don't know, 40 degrees Celsius, whatever that translates into with the F, I don't know. No clue. But I don't know, it's like plus minus 50, 60 degrees or something. But yeah, it's very different, and so the way we deal with products, so that's pretty cool. You get that range. Okay, very interesting. So it's not like some of those other products that are just white labeled from China. You're just telling me if your stuff's a little different. Sorry, did I just open a can?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some shit going down over there right now.
Yeah, true. And so your beer looked pretty cool though, and I have one today. I actually never have a beer on the show, and I got this one here, the Busted Sled. I've got a little, I don't know, gingerbread man falling over. I was very good at sledding.
Is gingerbread, is that a thing? Like, do you eat in Canada, or is it not cross over the border?
It's a thing, but mostly among like children. And
you don't just walk around chomping on gingerbreads?
No, is that like a thing that?
No, I just figured you did up in Canada.
Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I hop out of my igloo and start chomping on my gingerbread. Yeah, no, not a thing, but I have seen an increase. Usually in the holidays, everything is cinnamon based. Here recently, I've seen everything is switched to gingerbread. I have no idea why. But so this one here, gingerbread stout, I don't know, 5.6%, which is low, I'd say, for Canadian beers.
For a stout.
Well, for a stout in particular, yeah. Like the stout, I don't usually like stout, but there is one I do like, Dragon. I think it's from Jamaica, I think so, but it's like 12%. It's nice, but if you have 2 or 3 of those, you should probably stop. But it is nice. This, I don't know. I'm nervous to try it, but I'm laughing at the fact that it says strong beer, 5.6%. So I'm kind of curious. Hold on, you always do it by the microphone. Let's see if I don't know. Did it capture that? I don't know.
Oh no, completely missed it.
Too much noise cancellation in the mic.
Yeah, too much.
Oh fuck! Does that ever smell like gingerbread? Jesus. It's actually not bad, but I will say there is very little taste of gingerbread. I don't know. Really nice job on the packaging and labeling. It's actually one of our clients though.
So do you ever get into like seasonal beers? I had a really great
my first time
beer when I was in Kansas City probably about 3 years ago or so. We went
Mm.
up about this time, Kansas City right about now is starting to get cool, right? Crisp. And it's a
Okay, yeah.
popping place. Like Kansas City's
Yeah.
fun. And they got this new area. It was new, maybe 10 years ago. And so it's really developed. You can go in, it's got places all around, live music, bands, all this fun stuff. And we sit out there forever. And I think it was from Boulevard. I think it was a Boulevard gingerbread ale.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
Uber was
shit.
a fun ride back. Let me tell you about that.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. I believe it. How's that one though? That what was it? Something circus?
Light Circus. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
Light
hazy.
circus.
It's called a hazy IPA.
Okay.
I don't know. They didn't do so great on their filter. They got a bunch of shit in it.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's different. Kind of a
Yeah, I
different
don't
beer.
know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, so post that you got. I got a post. I got a
Yeah,
post.
hit me with
I
it.
got probably one of the best posts I've seen all year, no doubt about
Oh
it.
shit.
Oh,
This,
fuck,
yo,
it
I'm
was
not ready for this.
Unbelievable. It was somebody post their profile photo of dancing with his wife. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Who would that be?
Yeah. Oh, I looked at that. I go, God damn, look at him. It looks like he's out there knowing what he's doing. So where was the photo? What were y'all doing?
Good question. And yeah, so that was at my cousin's wedding. She just got married. She flew up from New Zealand. She's been in Australia. She has a pretty unique job, actually. She goes into companies that are doing well but not streamlined, and she helps her company acquire them, rip them apart, and sell the assets throughout the world. So it's a very unique job.
One of my best friends in high school, that his dad owned a company that did that.
Mm.
Once I realized, and I got in business and I realized what he did, I went, oh shit. I never talked to him about any. I just knew what he did, but right, I'm in high school. I mean, it didn't matter, right? I go, oh, okay, that sounds fucking ruthless. Like,
oh, it's fucking brutal, man.
I remember that guy. He loved our Mazio's. It's a local chain. Mazio's pizza, thin crust is why probably I'm still in love with it. It's still my favorite pizza. Like that's what he always had. And I'd go over there, on Friday night, hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
He'd still be working, man. That dude worked from his computer nonstop.
Yeah.
And just walk back and forth and grab a couple pieces of pizza and
just back at it.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell's your dad do? And
man, it's brutal.
Okay.
So she doesn't work where she lives for safety concerns. Because they'll go into a company that a lot of places that we've never even heard of, and they'll go in and there's some huge company that has factories someplace. She'll go in and she realizes the workforce they have, the factory, it's running inefficiently, but they've got a bunch of patents or they have a bunch of something, who knows. They'll go in and they realize, the owner's getting almost retirement age. They'll go in, make him a sweetheart deal. And it doesn't hurt, sorry, that, she wears the nice mini skirt, this and that, whatever, shows up, convince the guy, then they take the company, rip it to shreds, sell off each thing, because selling things in pieces, they get a lot more money. And and then that's what she does, and then she flies back. So, but anyway, so
his dad was the guy that owned the company, right? That was
doing that stuff. Yeah, so she would work for him. Yeah. And so it's
a good friend to have.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. And so there are some good parts to some of the stories, but most of the stories are people end up laid off, and then it's a mess. It's a massacre. But I mean, it's a business and it's out there, and business is tough. But yeah, so that photo, so she was getting married. She flew up with her husband to be at the time, and it was at my uncle's farm. He's got a huge, massive, actually, organic farm where he raises llamas and all kinds of shit. And he does everything with the animals start to finish, even down to they were giving away scarves at the place, and it was made from the fur of some of the animals. They make maple syrup there. They do all kinds of stuff. So little party favors on all the tables with bottles of maple syrup, which was super Canadian, but obviously, but yeah, so it was there, and he had this huge dance floor constructed. Something like 200 feet by 100 feet, like massive structure. He had this whole thing constructed. My cousins, they all play instruments. There was like a band of my cousins, and they were playing and stuff. And so yeah, we threw on our tux, well, I threw on my tux, my wife a dress, and we were just dancing it up, man. It was a lot of fun. And but that suit you see me wearing there, that's not an ordinary suit. That suit special ordered, and it's called the X suit. Have you ever heard of this thing? Oh, it's amazing. They launched on Kickstarter and with version 1. Now they're on version 3. This thing is a suit like no other. First off, it's got 12 pockets. I feel like they should be paying some money here. They're about to get a huge infomercial. So 12 pockets, which is unheard of on a suit. Zipper pockets too inside, so you don't like lose your phone or whatever, you know, and you're busting a move. But the biggest thing for it is this thing's basically ceramic coated. That's not even a joke. I had people literally there, and I was like, "Go ahead, pour something on me." They'd pour it on my suit, and it was just brush it off, and I'm dry. But it's got 12 times stretch as well or something. And so the commercial for the guy where I saw it and I bought it, he was doing karate in it. He's doing backflips and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, feels like pajamas. And I was like, man, say less. So ordered some. Oh my God. Best suit I've ever owned. No joke. Hands down. And yeah, so anyway, so yeah, we had fun. We were dancing. So that was a photo of my wife and I. There's actually a funny story there. So I did see a funny post. It was a post on Auto World at my shop. And so by mistake, when I was cooking on the weekend, and so we had some guests over to the house, and I was cooking up a storm. And I accidentally posted something to my company's Instagram. Whoops. So I've been playing with some video editing skills and stuff like that, you know, in preparation for doing some ads that we're doing, just up in my video game. So while I was cooking, I took, you know, slow shots of me, like, you know, chopping onions or cutting this and, you know, the whole thing, mashed them all together, made this wicked video. And my wife was like, send that to me. So I said, no problem. And then she said, post it to your story on Instagram. I never use Instagram. So I was like, how do I do this? I'm trying to figure it out. And I was like, yeah, I think I shared it to my story. I think I'm done. Walked away. Next morning, I got a call. My shop manager, he's like, look at you go, Chef Boyardee. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? So I'm like, yo, Paul, what's Joe talking about here? He's like, man, you posted on Auto World last night. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't post anything yesterday. I posted a couple days ago, sure. But he's like, no, go check it out. I check, and sure enough, there's the video, me cooking, cutting up this and that, all kind of stuff. Anyway, the problem came in when I didn't have the logins to remove it. And anyway, so I got Paul to go in, he removed it, but somehow, so we have someone that manages our social stuff now, and I'm removed from that side of the business, which is great. But somehow I still have posting privileges if I share it to my story. So it didn't go to my private story and instead went to my business. So that was my funny post. But not the end of the world, and who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's some people saw some awesome food being made. I'm okay with that. But yes, so where we were dancing at that wedding, and then that led to, because I was putting together clips of that, and then I said, well, I'll put some clips together of the cooking, and then it one thing led to the next. So that's my funny post. But yeah, so you saw that, huh? I was dancing.
What was the song that got you out on the dance floor?
Oh my God. So they were playing some nice classic songs.
Did it go with that? Oh my God, Becky,
Yeah,
look
yes.
at her butt.
Look at her butt. Yeah. Oh my God, Becky, look. So yeah, it was the song that actually got us out there initially. So it was my daughter, because you know, we're sitting there and they were playing some like old classics and stuff while some of my aunts and uncles were still, you know, up and moving about. And then once they all, you know, turned in, the kids just turned up. And so it was my daughter that pulled me out, and it was the song I Like It Like That with Cardi B. She pulled me out there, and then was dancing with her for a bit, and then my wife came over and we were dancing a bunch of songs. But I don't remember the one that started off me and my wife danced, but we dance all the time though. Usually like salsa stuff, you know, throw something on at the house after a long day, decompressing. You know, it's important to do those kind of things. You know, maybe it's not dancing, but you got to do something fun at the end of the day with your significant other to just unwind and recharge the batteries, you know. But yeah, what do you guys usually do?
So salsa, yeah, you
Oh, love
turn on a little
salsa.
salsa music.
Oh, hell yeah. Love salsa. And we have this thing here called Salsa on the Hill. So we have, you know, the capital city. So we have Capitol Hill here. And so they have a Salsa on the Hill where people go up and they do free classes. And they'll have, you know, 200-300 people up there. Everyone's just getting lessons. And then after that, that street where it is, it's called Spark Street. And the whole street, there's no cars allowed on that street. It's a pedestrian only street. It's maybe about 3 to 6 miles, something like that in between. And you'll have thousands of people just dancing there. It's pretty amazing. It's a lot of fun, you know, and it's casual, it's laid back, people just having a good time. You know, there's some like pros there, some like real, like these guys like know what they're doing, you know, but
are they fucking annoying?
they are fucking
right. Like, I mean, anybody that goes country dancing, yeah, exactly. Like,
fuck
if
off.
anybody's been to a country bar and watched people country dance, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The normal person's out there just kind of like, okay, you know, we're going around. And then there's these people, their arms are this way and their feet are this way, and they're like, it's like, what the hell? What are y'all doing? Like, this isn't a competition out here, guys. Like, just fucking, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
Have a beer, relax, like just dance.
You know, it's funny. That's how I felt.
Nobody's grading you on your
yeah, like this is not that serious, you know. Like, what are you doing? And I felt the way. I went to this wedding once, Dominican wedding, and my wife, she used to be in this dance troupe. She was a dancer. They did like ballet and all kinds of stuff, you name it, on a professional level too. They were really good. So my wife's a phenomenal dancer, phenomenal. Myself, I'm like a B or C student, I'd say. At best. I know some things, but I'm not touting myself as a big dancer here. But so we go to this Dominican wedding, and there's a buddy of hers that she went to high school with, and he's there. And you know, he was playing it off like he's no, I don't want to dance today. There were some girls asking him like, come dance. Nah, I don't feel like dancing today. So I thought like, oh, he doesn't really know how to dance, whatever. So I'm just like, look, man, it's not that bad. It's not that difficult. Like, look, you just kind of like, and I'm trying to like show him some things. He's like, he's entertaining my bullshit. Come to find out, this guy stands up and he's like, okay, fine, I'll dance, guys. Starts dancing like he's in fucking Grease or some shit, like the movie, and he's just like, everything's just perfectly executed, choreographed, everything. I'm like, man, come on, man. Like you were entertaining my bullshit this whole time, and you knew how to. Come to find out, he was part of their dance troupe, so I didn't know, but. Anyway, so he was like laughing subtly, but he didn't want to make me feel away. So anyway, yeah, but we had a good time.
What back in the day, were you ever a clubber dancer? Like,
I
feel like you used to have that vibe.
Sorta, yeah. I used to go clubbing a lot, but like I never had like a group of guy friends that I had acquaintances, but I never had like, you know, a lot of guys, they have like, that's their like their group or whatever, you know. I never really had that. I kind of just floated around different people, because for me, my big issue was back then I started a business young. My mentality, I grew up faster that way. And so a lot of these guys, I saw it as like, man, you guys are just like wasting your whole evening. So me, I was kind of a show up later in the night, dance for maybe a couple songs, find a girl, whatever, and then I was gonzo, you know.
That was the best way to do it. Yeah,
100%. That was more my approach, you know. Show up at 11. Now you're buying drinks for 5 hours. Like, forget that. So that was more my approach. But yeah, like I went because like my wife now, I met her in 2003, and so we started hanging out and partying. Then we've known each other almost 20 years now, and but we've only been married 11 or 12. So there was a big period of time in between there. don't dwell on that. There's a big period of time in between there where we were just friends, but we used to go clubbing together, because at the time I met her, she had a boyfriend, but he didn't like to go clubbing. So that was really the time I would go. Is, you know, she liked to dance, I liked to dance, and I liked her. So I was like, let's go. I was really surprised though that he didn't want to come along. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll chaperone your girlfriend. And then obviously you know, like, well, we lost touch for like 5 years, but then after that, they had broken up, and, you know, made my move.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, exactly. Bada bing, bada boom. Two kids later. So, but yeah, so I would say sort of. I wasn't a big clubber. I was more into the business side of things, but I definitely did go. I like dancing, but for me, I always found the nightclubs was more, it wasn't about dancing. People were just, you know, getting drunk, wanting to fight. You know, it's, for me, I was like, fight, and then what? I can't run my business anymore from jail. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is stupid. And like, what's the point of this? Anyway, it was.
Well, our clubs here never were really. I mean, there were some, but for the most part here,
they weren't really anything big.
Okay,
really,
yeah.
Nick's the guy we got to talk to about that then. Vegas.
Well, I think earlier back in those times, he lived in San Diego for quite a long time too. But I don't think he was. I'm pretty sure he was never a clever guy. I could be wrong. That'd be a great question to ask. I used to love it there, man. I'm a terrible dancer. I'm a white boy through and through. Midwest Oklahoma bred white boy. Like, dude, I got 2 left feet and I don't know a beat whatsoever, but I had some friends that I just love the music. I still listen to a lot of EDM. I love dance music. I love all that
Nice, yeah.
stuff. And I had friends that I worked at a hospital out of college as a courier, and we would all just a group of us that we all worked together would just go out. I mean, we went out sometimes 3 or 4 nights a weekend, right?
Nice.
Went to the
Yeah,
bars,
yeah.
went clubbing, like that's just what we did.
Damn.
Actually, some female friends like would teach me, like they
Certain
would
moves
hold
and
me back and
yeah, yeah.
forth and help me learn the beat, and like
That's
like
wicked though.
hell yeah, like thank you all, like
Yeah.
because I sucked. I was a terrible dancer. Even I mean, I was always around people. I always loved music, and I one of the craziest things I ever did. Uh, you ever watched movies about fraternity and certain fraternities that have like what's called stomp?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. My daughter, she's big into. She watches a lot of stuff on YouTube too. She loves it. I
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I've seen some and I'm like, yeah, that's impressive, you know. But
Yeah. I was supposed to do that, but
oh no
I,
shit.
I didn't make the
Damn.
cut. I wasn't good enough. Yeah, I was terrible about that stuff. But
Pretty awesome.
so in college, one of the most random things I did, because I played football and I was playing baseball at the same time. And I was friends with, of course, I was living in the football dorm, friends with all the football guys. And there was a lot of them that joined a fraternity called Phi Beta Sigma.
Okay.
And it's a all black fraternity.
Okay.
I was the 3rd white guy in the state of Arkansas to be a part of Phi Beta Sigma National Black Fraternity.
That is awesome. Yeah.
And so I went to all those things trying to learn how to step, learn how to stomp. Dude, I would go around the circle and people would be laughing at me. We had these clubs, and like that's what
Oh
you
my
do. You go to
God.
this club called Curtis, and like it was one white boy, me, and then a whole entire club was all the black brothers, sisters, everybody, man. And it was hilarious
That
because
is awesome.
they would just fucking laugh at me when I go around the circle and try to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And here I was, this 19, 20-year-old kid trying to like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hilarious. Terrible dancer. And I go to the club scene here and had to get people to teach me how to do it. Like a horrible dancer. Hate to dance still now. We
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. We don't, ours isn't salsa, but it's something. I think it's similar to salsa. It's
Okay, yeah.
something. And she tries to still teach
Because
me
it's
to dance.
Brazilian, right? So there's a
Yeah. I still can't dance.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll get out there and I just know everybody's laughing. Right? I'm that guy that always knows that people's laughing at him because I know they're laughing at me because I can't dance.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the
It's
same
good
way,
to
but I'm
dance.
like, fuck it. I'm here to have a
Yeah,
good time. So like
me
whatever,
too. I
you know?
still
Yeah.
go. Like I still go.
Of
Fuck.
course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, like us, we did salsa lessons together. And then we've done a bunch of stuff though, like ballroom dancing, like all kinds of stuff. Because it's my wife loves dancing, so I had no choice, you know. So over the last 12 years, I've had no choice but to, learn some things. So which is good. And then the same thing, like when we moved to the Caribbean, man, they were big, like dance culture was huge there. And so I was like, well, what do we do? There wasn't much to do. We're stuck on a rock. And they just opened a bowling alley and a pool hall when we were there. I think it was like a year or two after we were there, and they just opened it. And like prior to that, the only thing to do was like go to the beach. But then nighttime, what do? Well, you drink, you maybe go to a buddy's house if they had, well, it wasn't really like a house, but they'd have like these like homemade bars. You could go get food, drinks, whatever, and they'd have a pool table there. Or you go dancing. Those were our options, you know? And so that's what we did. So I learned a lot there, but then you learn a lot of like their style of dancing, you know what I mean? So it's more like Caribbean influence. It's really fun too.
Yeah. Salsa's close. Yeah, you're right. So ours is samba.
Samba, that's it. Yes, yeah. Because they have those classes here where it's like a fitness class, but
it seems like it's close.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot of foot movement and a lot of this, right?
Yeah. A lot of this, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Spot on. But have you guys ever done carnival or you guys, I think you call it carnival still. We had carnival where we were living, but in Brazil, I know they have like a huge one.
Oh yeah, she loves it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I've never been.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, yeah. Ask her if they do like the dress. Oh, they must do the dress up stuff. Like for us, we called it play. You used to say I play mass, like, and that meant you like put on the.
Are you watching the World Cup?
Right now, this one's been like lackluster for me, to be honest.
Oh, really? I'm into it. Yeah, of course, right? We have to watch Brazil play. They won 1-0 yesterday. There was they scored 2 goals, but They called one of them. I still don't know. Maybe it was offsides. I still don't know what they were doing, but
Oh
it's
shit,
been
yeah.
fun. I've never really watched soccer.
Yeah.
It's so fucking boring.
Yeah,
But if it's the World Cup and you got a bunch of food and drinks and everybody's having fun, like, cool,
yes, you
I'm
have a
in
good
it.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I'm
weird.
good.
This one I found wasn't promoted like the other ones. Like
Yeah.
I just found it wasn't, well, here anyways. It wasn't
I think it's because of the season, right? Because normally it's in the summer,
yeah.
but now
And
it's right in the
so
middle of the holidays. Like,
mhm, that's true. Yeah, because I was even this morning I was on a call with my buddy, he's in Guanajuato, and I was talking with him and I asked him same thing. I was like, "You following up on it? Because like soccer's huge for them, or football, you know?" And he's like, "No, haven't watched anything." And I was asking him why, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, they haven't really like promoted much, and it just seemed kind of not like normal, you know." So, oh, that's interesting though. So, well, now I got to go watch a couple games. That's what's got to happen now.
it's
Yeah.
going to start getting good. Let's see, USA and England played. A
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
couple of good matches, but
Yeah. Okay.
nothing
All
amazing.
right. So in your household,
Brazil
obviously,
all the way.
yeah, I was about to say.
Brazil all the way. There's no question. Neymar got
Do you
hurt the other
even
day, and he set out this last game. Neymar's the big name around town.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you're do
that's what
you
it is.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
all right. So tip, you want to get to tips? Speaking
yeah,
of
yeah,
around
yeah.
the
Let's get
house,
into
you want
some
to get the
tips.
little
Yeah,
tip?
yeah. So I have an interesting tip today, and it's funny because today, well, not today, but the weekend was time for me to make some mistakes where, I posted that video and stuff like that. So it got me thinking though about, when mistakes happen. But the good thing was it opened up some opportunities for me because I hadn't fully like told my staff the plan of these videos and stuff, and then when they saw the videos that were being edited and they saw the cooking video, they were like, "Oh shit, we should do that for the shop." So anyway, long story short, sometimes good things can come out of bad things, and so sometimes people when they're staring in the face of failure or if a mistake happens, like maybe you're cleaning a guy's car and something happens, sometimes you can turn that experience into something more positive than had it not happened. And I find that oftentimes people get focused too much on the short term. Oh my God, I fucked up, or oh my God, there's something wrong, and they think that that's now going to dictate the future of their business when really most problems are pretty small. And so with pilots, for example, when you're flying a plane, if there's a mechanical failure when you're in the air, there's a checklist they have to follow. There's things that they have to go, check on and make sure certain things are operating a certain way. But the number one thing on the top of that list is keep flying the plane. And that's something I think that a lot of people forget to do, is that when something happens, they might have processes in place. Okay, this is how we deal with this situation or that situation, but they forget the fact that you still have to keep the business going forward. And so, yes, you have to fix whatever problem it is, but while you're fixing that, you still have to deal with your other things. A good example of that is if, let's say, you've got a couple cars in the shop, you're working on them, something happens with one of them, well, you still have to keep flying the plane. So the other cars that you're working on, those still need to get dealt with as well. You can't just stop everything you're dealing with to solve this one problem, thinking that if you don't solve it right now, your whole business is going to tank, because not servicing those other vehicles is also going to be a problem. So my tip today would be, when things happen in your business, you have to deal with them, but you have to deal with them appropriately. And sometimes you can see an opportunity in a mistake as well. So sometimes at our shop, not everything goes perfectly. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews now, which is awesome. Woo, Auto World, which is huge, man. Most people, they're sitting at like, 50, 60. We got 1,000 plus, man. That's pretty amazing. But a big part of that is sometimes when things fuck up, not everything goes well. How we deal with those situations matters. And so most often, those situations are great for us because we have an opportunity now to show a customer how we go above and beyond. So it's not that we welcome these mistakes, but when they do happen, we usually go above and beyond to A, make sure the other jobs are finished, because we've got to keep flying the plane. But B, we also make sure that we go above and beyond for that customer that we did have the mishap with. And we own it. We explain it to them. Look, this happened. This is how we dealt with it. We fixed it, and we want you to be aware of it. Or, maybe we weren't able to fix it, but this is what we're going to do, or something like that. But we communicate with them, and we make sure to try and turn that experience from a negative into a positive by ownership and by execution of the solution. And so I would say my tips for today are, if something happens, run through your checklist, but make sure number one on that list is keep flying the plane. And number two is that when mistakes happen, keep an eye out for the opportunity to, make a lasting impression with your customer as well.
All right.
Tip in.
Tip in. All
That's
right,
it.
I'm going quite a bit different there.
All right.
Mr. Shawn. I'm going quite a bit different. So I've done something for, I don't know, I think 13 years or so. It's a little apartment complex. It's a little, I don't know, it's around by the house, a couple miles away, and one of those tough areas, right? We've done things, and we do it now with it's the Steeler Club of Tulsa, right? They cheer on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we come out at Thanksgiving and we give away turkeys, give away, food and
Oh
stuff.
man,
like
that's
that,
wicked.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's a good time. And you understand, like, it's just funny, right? Sometimes it's really just comical. People's interactions, their thought processes, the way they do life. And there's this lady that was walking through the line. She came to the turkeys where I was standing, and she kind of looked at him, and was like, "Nah, I'm good." Okay. She grabbed everything else, but then grabbed a turkey.
All right.
She comes back about, I don't know, a couple of minutes later. She comes standing next to me, and I'm like, "Oh, what the hell? What's up, lady?" She's just sitting there looking at his turkeys.
Okay.
You good? You need a turkey? She goes, "No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. All right.
I'm connecting with it." I go, "Do what?"
Did you just say?
She goes, "I'm connecting with it." Got it. And she grabbed the turkey that she connected with.
Okay.
So my tip for today is connect with your turkey. Connect with your motherfucking turkey, man. And here's why, like, it's so fucking interesting, right? It's interesting that people have mental things that they go through, that there's processes and different, like, right? It's really, really interesting. There's a book that's called Think and Grow Rich. You might have heard about it, right? Written back in like early 1900s,
Yeah.
1920, something like that, long time ago. And the most interesting philosophy that I think you and I do. I know that Nick and I have done it, to where you can actually begin to, and there's listen, this isn't me talking. So if you think I'm fucking lunatic crazy and I've already had a little bit too much, I get it. It's late in off the clock show. I get it. It might be a little lunatic, but there's a philosophy and it's a theory. And I kind of buy into it too, that inside of your brain, you have a receptor and you have a broadcaster, right?
Yeah.
And you can receive and you can broadcast things out of your brain and receive things in your brain. And he has a theory inside of this book, and I encourage anybody to go read the book or listen to the book, that you can actually communicate, right?
Like manifest.
In a sense, telepathically, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, that's what he's meaning, that you can have telepathic connections. And so I want to tell everybody off the clock, right? It's fucking lunatic crazy time, right? Connect with your turkey. Like, there's a lot of people that are already started. We know it's happening. The incredible interest rates that have gone up, the amount of debt that people have. Many people are starting to feel the pinch. Not everybody, but there's quite a few. There's a lot of companies, and there's many over the next months and into 2023. And so if you find yourself in a position of real need, connect with your turkey. Like, you can find somebody, whether it is, this is my point and exact, is if anybody has watched a movie, maybe it's a story that you get emotionally connected with and you see them do something and then you get inspired, right? Something happened mentally for you to get inspired. You can find something to connect to, whether that's a movie, whether that's somebody's story, whether that's somebody that you watch. You can begin to connect with their spirit of motivation, encouragement, positivity. Every single person that accomplished something big has to overcome big things too. So if you're struggling through things, or you begin to struggle through things, connect with somebody, think through with them, follow what they do, philosophize with them, go through everything that they go through, and you can begin to connect. It's wild and crazy. and then you can use the experience that they had to help encourage yourself when you're going through something that you want to grow out of. So
Yeah.
connect
like
with your
that,
turkey,
and-
Shawn. Connect with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Connect with your turkey. Yeah. As much as that might sound crazy, I do think there's a lot of truth in that, though. I
Yeah,
think that,
absolutely.
yeah, it's as much as someone might be like, well, you can't prove that. Well, at the same time, you can't prove it's not true either, because I'm a big believer in the fact that, like at our house, we have a rule, especially with the kids, where if they say something negative about themselves or about their situation or something like that, they have to come back at it with, positive things and at least 3 to kind of overcome. And that's from that book there. Oh my God, what was the title of that?
Think and Grow Rich.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
It's
different one?
another one. Oh man, a couple of weeks back we were talking about it. Shoot, it was on Audible. Well, it's on Audible, but I'll think of it, post in the comments. But yeah, it basically overcoming these negative thoughts, because you gotta put out there and say things that are more positive and focus on those things, more solution based versus negative based, or else you'll never get to the solution, right? And I find that a lot of people mentally block themselves into a certain path because they're not connecting with their turkey. But I actually do believe that to be true, though. Absolutely. Like it's kind of, you
Here's the
can
funny thing
manifest.
too, is my wife and I, as we started going through the grocery store, different things, she reached to go grab some. She goes, "Oh wait, no, I want this one." And then she goes, "I connected with my turkey."
Yeah, I'm connected with
Because we all do it, right? Like you go and look for a box that's on the shelf and you go, "Oh, I think I'll get this one." It's like, you
Mm.
connected with it.
Connected with it. That's true. And if people did that with your customers and stuff like that, connect with your customer. And but yeah, it's yeah, I think there's some truth to that. Absolutely.
There's
Yeah, man, that's good. That's connect with your turkey. That'll be the title of the episode. People are gonna be like, "What the?" It's off the clock, man. We've lost it now. But no, that's a good one. That's a good one. So yeah, I do have one more, but I'm gonna save it for next week.
gee, you can't double tip. We've gone through
I know I can't double tip. I always double tip, so I gotta, this time is just a tip, just a tip. That'll be for next week. I'll table it. It's a good one. But so tune in next week. We'll see you guys there. Marty, thanks again for your time. Connect with your turkey. Everybody out there, connect with your turkey. That's what you gotta do. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks again.
See ya.
See you.